Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Bits video. You join me at EVCS 2026, which is the show to be at for EV charging. It is called the Electric Vehicle Charging Summit. And today's video is with Adam at Kempower, who knows so much, who has been on the channel multiple times across our network. And we're talking all things Kempower, them coming to the USA, their success in Europe, and what they're doing to continue that success here. I'm so excited for you guys to see this one. Let's jump into it. Adam, I want to hear all about where you guys are at. You know, you've come to our shores more recently. You actually have been on Out of Spec before, and I'll have you kind of talk about that. But before we get into the full tour, talk to me about company philosophy and how the rollout has been, you know, trying to get this hardware in the ground right here in the US.
Yeah. So it takes a long time to get this stuff in the ground. Probably the biggest lead time for that is the utility interconnection. Average is about 18 months. When you go to utility and say, I want this much power, it takes them some time, depends on the capacity of the area. So that's a lot of what we see of delaying a lot of this, but we're reaching the thousands of plugs installed already in the US. Really fun to see, and in Canada as well. Huge North America expansion. So seeing a lot of growth. So I was the first engineer hired at Kempower actually.
Amazing.
3 years ago in North America. And to see the growth in the projects that I started back then, just now going in the ground 3 years later, has been really awesome, but also a testament to how difficult all of this really is. And so as a solutions engineer here at Kempower, my job is to make sure the customer's journey for that is as easy and effortless as possible. So.
And on that note, for those who may not be super familiar with, you know, your guys' company, walk me through what the philosophy is as far as like what the end user experience is. How do you guys differentiate yourself?
Yeah, so our goal is to be the preferred charging provider with the most effortless UI experience. When you plug in, you are going to charge, and that's what's really important to us. So no matter where you're at, what you're plugging into, any of our products, we want you to get a charge and be able to get on, move on with your day. When you go to a gas pump, you don't think about it, you just plug in and go. We want that exact same experience.
Amazing. So walk me through what we have on display here. Can we get a full tour?
Yeah, so on the left side, we have our dual satellite that has dual 300 amp cables on it. So those can hit up to 320 amps if it's an 800 volt vehicle, or 320 kilowatts if it's an 800 volt vehicle.
Right.
Those work simultaneously, independent of each other. You can see the cable management on there. It's that passive spring cable.
I love it.
Newer product to the US, not new to Kempower, but new to the US, is that control unit up there, that stainless steel box. That's really our depot focused. We see a lot of people hanging up in rafters or up on gantries. We also have some tarmacs airports doing it underground, and it actually pops up out of a vault.
Really?
Doesn't charge the airplane yet. That's coming.
Okay.
But it does charge the luggage carriers and things like that.
Understood.
So airports are really electrifying right now. MCS right next to that. So we've showed that once before. That's our megawatt charging, 1,500 amps up to 1.2 megawatt output. That's what's enabling our Class 8 trucks, those semi-trucks, long-haul trucking. That's the product that's going to get us there. And so we just actually had our first successful MCS charging session in the US last week within Winrose.
Amazing.
We're really proud of that. So in San Bernardino, EV Realty, one of our great partners, they did our first pilot with us, and we're really excited to see an actual successful charging session go on.
Yeah, and I know you guys have a big focus on, you know, fleet usage and stuff like that, with heavy stuff like that. So it's cool to see that you're embracing what is now a new standard and, you know, trying to push the envelope on that.
Exactly. And a lot of people ask us, like, are you more fleet focused, public focused? I honestly think it's 50-50. I was looking at our plug numbers the other day, actually. We are almost exactly 50-50 on our plugs for fleet and our plugs for public charging. So we have the products across the board to fit all segments and mix and match. We actually do have some sites that mix a fleet with the public in front of the fence, all sharing the same power, but it's just fence in between. You prioritize where that power goes when it needs to go there.
Oh, so actually sharing the same cabinet.
Exactly. So on the far side over there, that's our
let's go take a look.
That's our power unit. That's where AC power comes in, and then DC power goes out to the plugs we're attached to. And so 50 kilowatt power modules, we've done a lot of videos on these. One with Kyle a long time ago, did it at night, all the lights bright up, shine here. Really fun to look at night, honestly. This is our charger. Everything else, that's our dispenser. So you choose what kind of dispenser you want. How do you consume that energy? But this is really where the important stuff is happening. The power electronics and all that fun stuff. So you can connect a satellite, you can connect an MCS, you can connect a control unit. all to one of these, and you can also mix and match. So the set I was just talking about has some satellites out front and some control units out back for the fleet. And so the fleet gets the priority, but if there's excess power available, they can sell it to the public.
That's amazing, and I love having that flexibility. Like, I love that you guys have this whole ecosystem where the customer can build it out and say, you know, we have the base cabinet, but then what do they need at that site? It doesn't have to be some one-size-fits-all situation.
Yep.
Speaking of kind of the actual, you know, AC to DC over here, talk to me about granularity on this unit or other units. What kind of granularity do you guys have to split power between dispensers?
Yep, so in this unit we're looking at right now has 200 kilowatts worth of power modules. Each power module is 50 kilowatts, but you can see channel A and channel B, that's 25 kilowatts each. So just in one power module, we can send A to one satellite and B to the other. So 25 kilowatt granularity. It does not have to be 25 kilowatts. We could send 1 kilowatt if we wanted to.
Really?
Yeah, or 0 kilowatts. So this one channel can send between 1 and 25 kilowatts.
Right, but those are just how they're banked, but
exactly.
You still have the flexibility.
Yeah, and so if someone's requesting 100 kilowatts, we're going to send them 4 channels, just like that. It'd probably be mixed and matched around, but yeah, we have an algorithm to determine which channels get assigned there.
Right. And then from a consumer side of things, I want to take a look over here, Adam. I saw that you guys do have NACS here.
Yes.
Walk me through that rollout. Obviously, this is becoming more of a standard.
Yeah.
What is Kempower's view on this, and how are you guys integrating both CCS and NACS in the same units?
Yeah, for sure. So this is the NACS we were just talking about right there for the Teslas. We were one of the first OEMs in the US actually to come out with a cable for that as well. We did recently release a new product specifically for NEVI sites. So certain states have specific NEVI requirements. One of the requirements is you have to have both CCS and NACS. Not all states have that. So we developed a product we call our Flex satellite, and it is not a simultaneous, but an either or. So it has both on there. Actually looks just like this, but if this one's plugged in, this one's not going to work. And so it's actually meant to serve one vehicle. Kyle was actually on site looking at one of these in Colorado, I believe, and he didn't understand that this was meant only to serve one spot and not two. And you kind of called that out in the video. Everyone at Kempower was like, well, that's our Flex satellite, actually. That's what it's meant to do.
Right,
so it's an either or.
Well, now we're on the ground, we're getting the info.
Exactly.
Okay.
But it is a brand new product, so it is fresh. You probably saw one of the first ones out there at a Blink site.
Right.
Yeah, really cool stuff, but that allows you to have that either or functionality. It's kind of like a adapter almost, but both cables are available to you.
And Adam, I love seeing this right here, that we have dedicated output for each voltage range, because we know not every consumer is, you know, an out-of-spec viewer. Not every consumer's nerding out about the amps and the volts. I love seeing that, you know, based on amperage and based on voltage, what's actually going to happen, so that a 400 volt consumer doesn't roll up, see a blanket label, and say, why is my car not charging faster?
Exactly. Yeah, we're all about transparency here. And one step above that is we do have boost profiles associated to all these cables.
Yes.
The only thing we're ever going to list is our continuous levels.
Amazing.
And so we are all about being transparent.
Yes,
it is a smaller KW level, but it's real and it's the truth of what the customer can rely on and get. And so we do believe that there is a lot of interesting info out there in the industry right now, and so we're all about being transparent and kind of gaining that trust, hopefully, in the long run.
And so the consumer, then, you're saying, would kind of have their expectations be met and exceeded as far as if the boost profile...
If the vehicle can accept it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. So for that short period of time, they might have that boost profile that actually exceeds what you guys quoted.
Exactly.
So great.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great to see transparency, and really appreciate you getting on the channel, Adam, as always.
Of course.
We always love having Adam on the channel, having Kempower featured. I'm so excited to see what they continue to do moving forward on our shores. Stay tuned for more content on Kempower and other electric vehicle content. Thank you so much for watching another Out of Spec Bits video. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.